cot to the village center near the ancient fountain. Everyone used it. That fountain was near our small church, whose white walls were stained with streaky gray mold. Villagers said the church wept for our many sorrows. There were no pews. Behind the altar, on the apse wall, hung a large cross that bore a wooden figure of Jesus. The still air was sweetened by the smell of frankincense. The nearby cemetery was large because so many died from cholera or malaria. That meant that village doorways were often draped in black to announce someone had passed away. It happened so often, every house kept a strip of black cloth in readiness. The whole town went to the funerals because it didn't matter if you were alive or dead. In Baraka, everyone was related. Now and again, there were earthquakes, which broke homes, but not ours. Not yet. Skinny goats and donkeys wandered at will. Flies flitted freely. Lazy lizards lay on low stone walls. It was hot during the summer, chilly in winter. From a distance, I could see jagged mountains. I always wanted to visit them. I never did. I was told our village was 50 miles from the city of Naples. I never went there either. We didn't travel. Papa's going to America was the exception. That meant I knew almost nothing about the world except Baraka. When you are poor, where you live is your whole world. At the time of Papa's leaving, my family consisted of Mama, 2 sisters, Camilla, older, and Francesca, 1 year younger, Grandpa, Nonno, and a brother, Tullio, newborn, plus me, Santo. Of course, I had friends, but my sister Francesca was my best friend. She was shorter than me, thin, with long, black, and somewhat curly hair that reached her shoulders. Her olive-complexioned face was small and round, with dark eyes, with a gaze that suggested she was looking in from someplace outside, but from where I never knew. That gaze made her look older than she was. Her smile was the brightest thing in my world. "Francesca, let's go walk in the hills." Hand in hand, we would go wandering. "Francesca, let's go look for water in the old riverbed." While I walked in the middle of the old stream, she walked along the bank, warning me of the deep places. Or we would sit side by side and talk about village people, the things they did or said, always finding something to laugh about. Since she mingled with the women, she knew more gossip than I. In short, Francesca and I played together, laughed together, and shared our secrets, big or small. Moreover, she had a smile that never failed to lighten me. Though I didn't know the meaning of the word love, next to Mama and Papa, I loved Francesca best. I trusted her the most. Camilla, older than me, was close to Mama. Tullio was a baby. As I said, Nonno, Papa's father, was living with us. Old as one could be. He was stooped, toothless, and frail. Each day he searched for a spot of sun and sat there. I loved to listen to the stories of his bandit past when he lived off the land and stole from rich people. I wanted to be bold and brave like him. School? There was none. But our priest, Father Antonio, I believed he was almost as old as Nonno, taught me to read numbers so I could tell time with his large pocket watch. That let me know when I had the honor to ring the church bell for Mass. It was the loudest noise in Baraka. When someone died, I rang that bell. Often. The one rich person I knew about was the padrone who owned most of the land in our district. A gentleman, he lived in Naples, so I never saw him. It was Signore Bambilla, his fat, sweaty manager, always dressed in a rumpled black suit, who, bellowing like a bull, demanded the monthly rent. He was driven to our village by a driver in a black automobile. As soon as the car showed up, we kids stood about and stared at it. It was the only one we ever saw. Bambilla brought uniformed guards with rifles to make sure those rents were paid. If you had no money, you were immediately evicted. Those guards made sure of that. The evicted stood before their padlocked doors, frightened and bewildered, not knowing where to go. No surprise, I feared men in uniforms. With Papa gone, I helped